What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the MasterCard Black Card, why I will not be getting it, even though it's invite only, and I've been invited now for, I believe, the 4th time. But I want to talk about how I got an 806 credit score, and it's just gonna keep on climbing. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos. Subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive bonus content. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Try out some G Fuel Energy Formula, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. And of course, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. You can deposit any amount that you want, even as little as a penny. It still works, it still counts, you still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And if you set up auto invest by July 11th, which now that I'm thinking about it, pretty sure is going to be the day that I post this video, so move quick, they're going to give you $10 cash in your account to invest however you'd like. Webull link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. All right, so today I wanted to talk about a couple of different things. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Black Card, the you know how they say the man, the myth, the legend. This is the Black Card. The Black Card that no one seems to have access to. How do you get the Black Card? What comes along with the Black Card? Now, I'm not going to be going into every little itty-bitty intricate detail about the Black Card, because I'm going to be honest, I don't even know every itty-bitty intricate detail about the Black Card. I know quite a bit about it, and I know enough about it to know that it's not necessarily for me, at least definitely not at this time. But I also want to talk about how I built my credit over the years, and I've really only been building my credit for a few years now, and how I worked my way all the way up to 806. So starting with my own personal credit, let me just show, I have some screenshots right here. This is one of many different credit scoring models. Credit wise, right here, Vantage score 806. Let me see if I can get that to focus a little better. I promise that does not say 606. 806. According to TransUnion, 806. According to Equifax, 806. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a wild stab in the dark and assume that my credit score is 806, or at least just about 806, because these are a couple of different credit scoring models and algorithms that are used to give you a pretty close guess to what your credit score is or approximately is. Now, if it's off by a couple of points, that's fine. Maybe my official credit score is not 806. Maybe it's 805. Maybe it's higher. Maybe it's 809. Maybe it's 798. Who knows? But here's a fun fact for those of you who do not know. Anything above 760 is essentially considered perfect. I mean, an 850 is the highest you can go, so that's, I guess you can say that's technically a perfect score. But anything between 760 and 850 is exactly the same. Everything but the actual score. 760 is what will give you the lowest possible interest rates when borrowing money. And if you have anything between a 760 and an 850, you're viewed the same. Having an 850 credit score, that's really just bragging rights, because there's absolutely no difference between an 850 and a 760 or anything in between. So where I'm at right now, right in between 760 and 850, I'm in the quote-unquote excellent credit category, which means lowest possible interest rates. That's why I started building my credit in the first place. Now, we're eventually going to get to the point where we talk about the Black Card. I have it right here. But before we get there, I want to talk about how I've built my credit, because I've only been doing this for a couple of years. And I will say this, it's easier to build credit when you have no credit than it is to rebuild credit when you have bad credit. But they're both possible. You can build from nothing, and you can rebuild from the negatives. Now, what I went about doing a couple years ago, I went and got my very first credit card. It was a secured card, which means you put a security deposit down on it, which I think for me was $50. And in exchange, they give you a starter credit card with a credit limit of $200. What can you possibly go and get for $200? Not very much, but it's not intended to be used that way. You're not supposed to use a $200 credit limit card to go and get yourself thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff that you're not going to pay back. That's not the point of a secured card. The point of a secured card is to simply build credit. And that's how I got started. Now, the reason it requires a security deposit is because if you decide to be irresponsible and reckless and not pay back what you owe, they take that security deposit, it's like as collateral, and they'll pay off what you didn't pay. For me, it was $50 for a $200 credit limit card, but I think maybe if you have bad credit, they're going to ask for the $200 credit limit. That way they can pay off the credit card in full if you choose not to. But anyway, that's how I got started. And after a couple of months, I applied for a regular credit card. And I'm pretty sure, and that was my first cashback credit card. It was designed for college students, and I was in college at the time, and it offered 1% cash back on absolutely everything. Now, getting 1% back or getting $1 back for every $100 you spend, not life-changing. It's not meant to be. It's not portrayed to be. But technically a 1% discount on absolutely everything you buy is, better than nothing. So now I was up to 2 credit cards. Later that year, I applied for my third credit card I applied for was from the same bank I got the second credit card for, the one that was offering me 1% back. This one was offering 1.5. So I applied for it, got approved for it, and I started using it. Now, every time I got a new card, I did not close the previous one. I kept them open, I kept them active. To this day, they are still open, they are still active, even though they provide me very little value. There are certain credit cards that I use that I'll take with me. I'll just stop at a convenience store and I'll just buy something, $3, $4 or whatever, just so it's on record that I am using the card on a monthly basis. I'll just do that once a month. Put a couple dollars on and I'll pay it off the next day. Just to keep it open and active and show that I'm using it. That way they don't close it on me due to inactivity. So now I'm up to 3 cards. First one was a secured card, which at this point I was just keeping active. Second one was my first cashback card, which again I was just keeping active. And the third one became my primary card, and I was getting 1.5% back on absolutely everything. Then I went and got the Amazon credit card. I was already paying for Amazon Prime because I buy quite a bit on Amazon. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't really buy all that much on Amazon, but if I'm going to spend money, it's more than likely going to be on Amazon because I have everything under the sun, it seems. So I went and got the Amazon card, which gave me 5% back on all Amazon purchases. It also gave me 2% back on something else, 1% back on something else, but I wasn't using the card for that reason. I got this exclusively for Amazon purchases because it guaranteed me 5% back on everything I buy on Amazon, including the cost of Amazon Prime. It's where I buy my dog's food and stuff like that. So a decent amount of money gets spent on Amazon for me, so why not save 5%? Then I went and got myself another card. I got myself the Discover It cashback card. This is a very popular card on my channel, and I actually have an affiliate link if anybody's interested in it. Don't get it if you don't want it, or if you do want it, use a friend of yours' affiliate link. You don't have to use mine, but if you don't know anybody with the card, you're more than welcome to use mine. I'll leave it linked in the description. But the Discover It cashback card, it offers 5% cashback on rotating categories, and they change every 3 months. The first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth quarter of the year, it changes. So now that we're moving into July, or this video is coming out in July, filming it on July 1st, we just came out of the second quarter of the year, which was giving me 5% back at wholesale clubs, and I want to say restaurants. I don't remember. I was only using it at, you know, Sam's Club. Go and get some you know, food and stuff like that. 5% back, why not? Already have a membership, like I said before. I already spend money there, already using it, so why not give myself a 5% discount? And now that we're moving into, or we have already moved into the third quarter of the year, July, August, and September, the 5% cashback category for this quarter would be gas stations and e-wallets. So I believe that goes for like Apple Pay and stuff like that. It's not something that I use, but gas stations, that could come in handy, especially now that it's like summertime. Imagine saving 5% on gassing up the car. So it changes every 3 months, and it's always something handy. The first quarter of the year, it was grocery stores and something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't know what the fourth quarter category will be, but it's always something practical. Sometimes it's eBay purchases. A lot of people, you know, who watch my channel, they buy, you know, silver coins and stuff like that off of eBay, or maybe you buy supplies off of eBay, or maybe you make business purchases via eBay, whatever the case may be. That definitely comes in handy. Sometimes it's 5% back at restaurants. That comes in handy. Sometimes it's 5% back at, I think last year around, I think the fourth quarter of the year, I think it was 5% back on Walmart and Target purchases, which definitely comes in handy because, you know, like, you know, Christmas shopping and stuff like that. So that's what the card is. 5% cash back on rotating quarterly categories. And if it's your first year with the card, they match all of the cash back that you made in your first 12 months with the card. So you can actually look at it as 10% cash back on rotating quarterly categories during your first year, because they match it. Every single penny, they match it. And if you use the card for anything other than what the 5% cash back category is, they give you 1% back by default. So you're always getting something, whether you're utilizing the category or whether you're going about it in a different way. So it definitely comes in handy. And it's always something good. It's always something practical. It's always something that you can utilize, and it's always something that you're more than likely going to be spending money on anyway. So once again, if you're interested in that card, I will leave an affiliate link in the description. If you apply and get approved through my referral link, you and I will each get a $50 or a $100 statement credit. I can't remember off the top of my head because it's changed. I want to say it's 100, but it could be 50. So there you go. After that credit card, I was pretty happy with the amount of cards that I had for a little while. I was like, all right, I think I want to, you know, let these cards age a little bit before I apply for my next one. Because if you apply for too many credit cards, or too many lines of credit, I should say, in too small of a window of time, it could appear that you are stretched too far thin, and that maybe you're hurting for money, which is why you're applying for, you know, credit card after credit card after credit card, and then they could decline you for that because they're like, no, you might seem like you're hurting for money. So you don't want to apply for too many in a short window of time. But think about a year and a half, maybe 2 years went by, or somewhere close to that. And I applied for the next credit card, which was the Capital One Saver One card. By the way, every card that I've listed so far, $0 annual fee. They are free to own and free to use. They only cost you money if you carry a balance over into the next month and into the next month, because that's when the interest racks up. I always tell people, like, never use a credit card if you can't afford to buy it all today, and pay it off before the due date in full. Never, ever, ever pay interest on a credit card. No, sir. But anyway, next card was the Capital One Saver One card. Here's another one that I have an affiliate link for. If you apply and get approved through my link. And by the way, this card right here, the Saver One card, before I say anything else, the Saver One card is what I like to refer to as the date night card, because it's perfect for taking the lady out, or the ladies out, your Tuesday out, taking your Thursday out, taking your Saturday out. Because this card offers you 3% back on dining and entertainment. That's what it originally was, and then they added 3% at the grocery store. But originally, 3% back on dining and entertainment. Now, what exactly does that mean? Because that could be a gray area thing. Oh, dining. Does that mean I have to sit in the restaurant? It means I can't get, like, takeout? Nope. Sitting down in a restaurant, takeout, fast food. It goes for anything like that. Delivery, it goes for all that. 3% back on pretty much any food from restaurants, no matter if you're sitting in the restaurant or it's takeout or delivery, whatever. 3% back. It also gives you 3% back on entertainment. Another gray area thing. Like, all right, what does entertainment mean? It means dang near everything under the umbrella of entertainment. Going to a baseball game, going to the movies, going to the circus, going to a museum, going bowling. This all constitutes as entertainment, which is why I said this is like the date night card. If you take the lady or the ladies out bowling or to a concert or to a movie, and then you round them all up and take them all out to dinner, 3% back on all that. And later added 3% back at grocery stores. So this very easily turned into my go-to grocery store purchase card as well. And it also gives you 1% back on everything else, all other purchases. I will leave a link to that in the description as well, if you're interested in that card. Now, after that card, once again, I chilled out. In fact, I wasn't even planning on getting another card for quite a bit of time. I still, to this day, have my eye on 2 or 3 other cards that I would like to, probably get later down the road. But I have a decent amount of cards in the arsenal. I have a couple that don't really serve me much of a purpose, but they're older cards, so they're helping to, build up my credit, because the age of credit just keeps on climbing every month. Every month, those cards get another month older, so it's beefing up my credit in that way. I have some cards that give me maybe 1.5%. Oh, here's one other thing that I did. I didn't get a new credit card, but I upgraded one of my cards. The one from earlier, where I mentioned one was giving me 1.5%, and the other one was giving me 1%. My second and third credit cards. Well, I kept the 1.5% as is, but I upgraded the 1% card to a 2% card with that bank, because they offered a new credit card, and I just said, hey, can I upgrade it to that? They said yes. So that is my new go-to card when none of my other credit cards make sense, because that gives me 2% cash back on anything. I'll use the Saver One card to get 3% back at grocery stores year-round, and I use the 5% rotating quarterly cashback card, the Discover It card, for whatever the category is that quarter, if that makes sense. Those are really the 3 cards that I use. The Discover card for whatever quarter we're in, the Savor One card for groceries or dining and entertainment, and if it's a miscellaneous purchase where they would give me, 1% back on all other purchases, I'll just use the other card that gives me 2% back. So, pretty happy with the selection that I have. But about 2 months ago, I got transferred to a new location at work. I got transferred, and originally, I'll make this quick because I've talked about this too many times, but I got sent there temporarily to fill the shoes of someone of a higher up position. Big emphasis on the word temporarily. I was not supposed to do it permanently. And then a position that I was supposed to be in opened up, and I identified somebody who wanted that position and that I thought would be a good fit. And I asked HR, I was like, hey, can that person take what I'm being put into, and can I do this permanently? Because I like to think that I proved myself over the last 3 months. I've done a good job, and I've been audited 6 times every single week by the company, and I've never scored anything less than perfect. And I would really like to do this. And it worked out for me. But long story short, I got transferred. And I got transferred further away than I was hoping to get transferred to. And I needed to upgrade my ride. I needed to upgrade my wheels. So I ended up getting a new car, which I never, ever would have expected to do. But with everything going on right now, and I definitely did need a newer car at least. So I made the upgrade, went far newer than I planned. And I spent a little bit more than I planned. But my logic behind it was, I was like, well, this is something that, I am very, 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 very confident will be smooth sailing for the next 5 to 10 years. This is something that I will most certainly be driving in 5 to 10 years from now. And so that was my logic behind that. And plus, like I said before, I have very good credit, so I have the lowest possible interest rates. And I also, my down payment was like a massive chunk of the total price. So my monthly payments are very, very low, and the interest that I'm paying is absurdly low. And I'm able to justify it because my other investments are seeing an average annual rate of return of pretty much twice the interest that I'm paying on the car. And plus, not only that, I chose to do it that way because I wanted an auto loan to be a part of my credit history as well, for credit mix purposes. They, when it comes to determining your credit score, they like to see that you are capable and responsible enough to manage multiple types of credit, not just multiple credit cards, but multiple different types of credits. Mortgage counts as well, personal loans count as well. All different types of student loans technically count as well. I wouldn't recommend that one, but anyway. So I was pretty happy. Had a decent selection of different types of credit cards that were offering me, cash back in different areas. I appeared to have a different type of, I had a different credit card for different types of purchases so I could maximize cash back and whatnot. And then I went and got a new car, and I decided, or I realized, I was like, you know what? I don't have a card that maximizes cash back at gas stations, because I was never really doing a whole lot of driving, pretty much not even driving at all. Maybe I can get myself a card specific for this car. So that's what I did. I went and got the Citi Custom Cash Card, which, by the way, I just realized I intentionally took every single credit card that I have and I put it in my pocket for this video, and I didn't show off a single friggin' one of them. Let me give you a quick glance at the stack. These are all my credit cards. I might even have more. Do I have more in my pocket? Yeah, I do. Okay, so I have I have a nice stack of credit cards. Decent amount of them. 7 in total. And this blue one right here, let me see if I can get that on top with one hand. That would be the Citi Custom Cash Card. That's my newest one. I just got it like 2 months ago. It's this guy right here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. And what's interesting is it's all in the name, Custom Cash. Similar to the Discover It card that I was mentioning before, 5% cash back on rotating quarterly categories. This one gives you 5% back, not on anything specific, but 5% back on whatever category you do the most spending in. So I thought to myself, you can use this for so many different things. You can use it for restaurants. If you're primarily spending at restaurants with the card, they give you 5% back on that. If you're primarily spending here or there or here or there, 5% back on that. But it also goes for the gas station. So I decided to get that particular credit card for all things related to the car. So I get 5% back at the gas station because that's where I do most of my spending. And I also decided to use that card to pay for the car insurance, because not only does the Custom Cash Card give you 5% back on whatever category you do the most spending in, but they give you an intro bonus, which most cards do, by the way. I forgot to mention that before. But this particular card will give you a $200 bonus after spending $1,500 in your first 6 months. That's a lot of time. That's a decent amount of time to spend $1,500. It's not all that difficult. And if you're gassing up the car and paying for car insurance with this card, you'll have no problem doing so, or you shouldn't have a problem doing so. But I got a couple of supplies for the car with this card as well. So basically everything related to purchases that have to do with this car, this new car that I got, goes on this card. And a lot of people like to attempt to be combative when it comes to like welcome bonuses. They're like, oh, $200 for $1,500, that's a robbery. They're tricking you into trading $1,500 for $200. No, they're not. You're supposed to look at it as a $200 discount on something that you are required to spend $1,500 on. You're not supposed to go out and waste $1,500 just to celebrate earning $200 out of it. No, you're supposed to use it for something that you were already going to use it, or that something that you were already going to use $1,500 anyway. Except this time around, instead of spending $1,500, period, you spent $1,500 and got $200 tossed back to you. It's a discount. Or you can look at it as, I think, about 14% cash back for those first 6 months. That's how you're supposed to see it. So back to welcome bonuses really quick. The Discover It cashback card, the one with the rotating quarterly categories, does not have a welcome bonus like that. But like I said before, they'll match all of your cash back at the end of your first year. So if you made $100 in cash back, they're going to throw another $100 on top of it. They match it. That's, I guess you can kind of view that as somewhat of a welcome bonus if that's what you want. The Capital One Saver One card, they give you, I believe it's, I want to say it's $200 back after spending $500 in your first 3 months. Which again, is not very hard to do. It's not hard to spend $500 in 90 days, especially if you're somebody that likes to eat or pay rent or buy what you need to buy. Saver One welcome bonus. I'm going to clarify. Yes, $200 cash reward after spending $500 in the first 3 months. So yes, I just wanted to make sure. I wouldn't want to say something incorrect by mistake. So that's the way that works. And both of those cards, the Capital One Saver One and the Discover It cashback card, which by the way, I guess since I have them in my pocket, I can show you what they look like, just in case anybody's wondering. The Discover It card is actually pretty cool because you get to pick what color card you want. I went with bright, vibrant, obnoxious green. Figured something loud and intense would match my personality. But you get to pick what color you want. And then as for the Savor 1 card, it's like a copper colored card. This is the one that I called the Date Night card. So I have affiliate links to either of those if anybody's interested in them. But that's been my credit card journey over the last couple of years. I have never ever once carried a balance on any of these cards. I have 7 in total. Never carried a balance, never paid a penny in interest. I pay everything off in full on time before the due date. I have automatic payments set up on every single one of the cards because God forbid I forget. That's not something that I forget because I check them almost every single day to make sure that I don't have a balance. But just in case, you can set up auto pay to completely and entirely prevent the possibility of forgetting to make a payment and then missing a payment and then sticking on your credit for like 7 years and you know, anything less than 100% on-time payments does not look good. If they see that you make your payments 99% of the time, that's bad. Anything less than 100% is considered not good. So if you want to prevent that altogether, you can set up automatic payments, and that's the best way to go. That's how I would recommend doing it, and that's what I do myself. Practice what I preach, although I don't even let it get to the point of it paying it off automatically because I pay it off myself. My point being is never carry a balance. Pay it off in full on time before the due date. And all you need is 1 card to do this. But if you have multiple cards, it just gets the snowball rolling even more, because a lot of people say, they're like, oh yeah, well, you don't need a bunch of cards. All you need is to, you know, make that on-time payment every month. Yeah, absolutely. But I have 7 cards, which means I make 7 on-time payments every single month. 10 months go by. How many on-time payments did I just make? 70. Where you've made 10. Again, I'm not, you know, to be like superior. Oh, I make more on-time payments than you. No, I'm just saying that by having multiple cards, it gets the snowball rolling even faster. And a couple years go by, you're like, wow, you've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of on-time payments. It just looks good. But all you need is 1. You do not need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, 10 cards. You don't need that many. I just do it so that I have multiple cards for different reasons and I can maximize cash back to the best of my ability. That's why I do what I do. Okay, so that has been my credit card journey, and throughout my journey of building my credit from having no credit at all to now having an over 800 credit score, I'm starting to get some mail. This is, I believe, the 4th time I have received this in the mail, and I've opened it up. I didn't open this one up, but I've opened the other ones up, and they all say the same thing. The MasterCard Black Card. By invitation only. This is not something you can go on the MasterCard website and just apply for like you can with pretty much any other card. This is a card that you can only apply for if you have a special code. And the code is an invitation code. The card itself is invite only. Now, believe it or not, what inspired most of this video was a comment that I got from somebody in the past, because on an older video that I made, I had mentioned the Black Card, and the comment that I received on that video said that the Black Card, this one right here, is a scam. Now, just to clarify, this card is in absolutely no way, shape, or form a scam. It's not for me, and if I were to get it, it wouldn't provide me with enough value to justify keeping the card, which is why I don't even want to get the card in the first place. It's not for me. The value that it provides isn't the value that I need, therefore it just doesn't make sense. Now, first things first, like I said, all the other cards that I listed before have $0 annual fee. They are free to have, free to own, free to use. This one, on the other hand, comes with a $500 annual fee. A lot of credit cards out there will have like a $20, $30, maybe $50, maybe $100 annual fee. None of mine, but there are a lot of cards out there that do have somewhat of an annual fee. This one has a $500 annual fee, which is mind-blowing. I could never, ever justify paying $500 for a credit card unless, of course, the credit card would be generating me $1,500 or more worth of value. And unfortunately, with this card and how I would be using it, I wouldn't be getting that value. Therefore, I cannot justify it. But thank you, MasterCard, for the invitation. I'm going to have to respectfully decline. But you can see over here, and this isn't everything. There's an entire long list. There are multiple pages of a description of all the perks that this card comes with. But right here on the front, I guess these are the most enticing for a lot of people. 2% value for airfare redemptions, 1.5% value for cashback redemptions, 24/7 luxury card, concierge, and there are so many things that come along with this card. What this card is best for would be a person that does a lot of business travel, and anybody that is able to afford, and not only afford, but justify a $500 annual fee for this particular card, is somebody that's using the card enough to be getting at least $500 worth of value out of it, probably more. Myself, personally, I couldn't justify paying an annual fee, regardless of what the fee may be. It doesn't just have to be a $500 card. It could be, you know, let's say a $30 annual fee. Not bad. Doable, affordable, not bad. And if you break it down, you know, by the month, a couple bucks. But for me personally, I would not be able to justify a $30 a year annual fee if the credit card is not able to provide me with, at the very least, $90 worth of value, aka $90 worth of what they have to offer, and or $90 worth of cash back. I am not going to pay $30 for a cashback credit card that doesn't give me at least $90 worth of cashback in whatever category it is that I'm spending in, which is why I go for cards that have $0 annual fee. That's why I go for credit cards that don't cost me a penny to own, because let's be honest, I'm probably not going to be making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars off of each credit card. I'm probably not going to be getting over $1,000 in cash back, even if you add a couple of different cards together. I'm probably not going to be getting quadruple digit cash back payments off of my credit cards. I'm only saving 2% on certain purchases, 5% on certain purchases, 3% on certain purchases. The cards I use are to give myself a discount, to give myself 2% off or 3% off or 5% off, and I use them in a smart way. I use the right card for the right categories to maximize cash back, but let's be honest, I'm giving myself a small discount. I'm not generating hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of dollars worth of cash back. If I saw an opportunity to do so with a card that had somewhat of an annual fee, and I knew for an absolute fact, if I broke it down, if I crunched the numbers and knew for an absolute fact that I could at least triple in cashback what the annual fee is, then sure, I would be very, very open-minded to that. But by crunching the numbers, doesn't make sense. The black card, first and foremost, I don't even do spending in the overwhelming majority of categories that it offers points, travel points, or cashback in. It's more of a travel card. You get a lot of value if you do heavy spending when it comes to traveling. If you spend money on plane tickets and you spend money on hotels And I don't travel. It doesn't make sense for me. It's a luxury card for a reason, and I don't really have a lot of luxuries in my life. I go out of my way to avoid luxuries because I don't want to become overly reliant on them. So the black card is great for people that get $500 or more worth of value. Wouldn't provide me with really anything at all. I would be spending $500 on a card and getting virtually no value out of it. So for me personally, it doesn't make sense. For a lot of people out there, I would assume it doesn't make sense. But for the small number of people that it does make sense for, I would assume that they would get tremendous amounts of value out of this card. And I'm willing to bet the majority of people who have the MasterCard Black Card and are paying the $500 annual fee are probably getting way more than $500 worth of value. So just to make a long story short, it is absolutely not a scam. It's something that you have to determine whether or not it would provide enough value to justify paying the annual fee. It is not in any way, shape, or form a scam. That's like paying for a gym membership and never going to the gym and calling the gym a scam because they charge you a membership fee. It is not a scam. It's a scam if you scam yourself. You're the scam. Which is why I choose not to scam myself by getting the card, because I don't need it. Wouldn't be getting any value out of it. I'd be paying for practically nothing. But that's definitely not what a scam is. Just to make things clear. But yeah, that's the black card. I don't know what the APY looks like. I don't even know what the APY on any of the cards that I currently have look like, because like I said, I don't pay interest. So that's not anything that matters to me. It's completely irrelevant to me. This is a good card for people that do heavy spending on travel, I guess more specifically business travel and whatnot. If you're somebody that, you know, could justify the $500 annual fee, by all means, maybe it is the card for you, but it's not the card for me. I'm going to stick to the 7 cards that I currently have. I have my eye on another maybe 1 or 2 later down the road, but I'm going to chill out for, you know, probably at least a year or 2. Anyway, that is how I went about building my credit. That's how I went about climbing my way up to an 806 credit score. How I went about doing it, what credit cards I used to get my foot in the door, and how to maximize cash back to the best of my ability at 0 cost, because none of my cards have an annual fee, and why I go about using different cards for different reasons. It's just to maximize cash back and to make the most of them. I want to be as smart with my money as possible. Why not save as much money as possible? Why pay full price when you can have a 5% cashback credit card and only pay 95%? That's how I see it. I'm all about making money. I'm all about saving money. I'm all about preserving wealth and being as financially literate as possible. And on top of that, I'm interested in building my credit to the point where I pay bare minimum interest rates, because once again, why pay more? Why have bad credit or no credit or fair credit and pay more than people who have good credit or excellent credit? Having a high credit score will not hurt you. Nothing bad happens to you for having a good score. So if you have a good score, you pay less. It doesn't cost you money to have a good score. So anyway, that's why I do what I do. That's how I did what I did. What the process looked like, it definitely took a couple of years, but when I say a couple of years, I'm like referring to like 4 or 5 years. It wasn't too terrible of a process. Kind of casual. It's really no different than paying with a debit card, except one extra step, making sure you pay it off. I was using a debit card for all my purchases beforehand, so for me it's no different. Cost me no money, saves me tremendous amounts of money, and it makes me a little bit of money. So why would I not do it? Anyway, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to credit scores, it's none of my business, but if you're interested in sharing, or if you care to share, I'd like to know, what's your credit score? Again, you don't have to let me know if you don't want to. Not my business. Just a topic of conversation. But regardless, how did you go about building your score? What different types of lines of credit did you use along the way? Was it exclusively with credit cards? Was it maybe a personal loan, business loan, student loan, auto loan, home loan, mortgage? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive bonus videos. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and a bunch of different designs, many of which are helping raise funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Try out some G Fuel Energy Formula, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. Sugar-free, low-calorie, packed with a whole bunch of vitamins, over 50 different flavors to choose from. Absolutely delicious. This one is snow cone, perfect for the summer. $5 off first order by clicking the link in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. You can deposit as little as you'd like, even as little as a penny. It still works, it still counts, you still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And if you set up auto invest by, I believe, tonight, they're going to give you $10 cash to invest however you'd like. Webull link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. And friendly reminder, the two credit cards, or two of the many credit cards that I talked about, the 5% cashback card on rotating quarterly categories, the Discover It card, I will leave it linked in the description. You and I will each get a $50 or a $100 bonus if you apply and get approved through my link. And then, of course, the Capital One Saver one, which is the one that I call the date night card, 3% back on dining, entertainment, and now groceries. They're going to give you $200 after spending $500 in your first 3 months. It's a $200 discount on something that you got to spend $500 on. Both of those links will be in the description if you're interested in either of those cards. And once again, I want you guys to head on down in the comments and let me know anything and everything related to building credit. How many credit cards do you have? Or what does your credit mix look like? Is there an auto loan in there? Is there a mortgage in there? Maybe personal loans? Is it exclusive with credit cards? What's your favorite credit card? And if you're comfortable sharing, what's your credit score? Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.